Hi everyone, 반갑습니다. 오랜만에 제가 원어민 선생님과 영어를 이렇게 영어로 아리클을 읽고 그거에 대해서 이제 대화하는 영상을 오랜만에 가져와 봤는데요. 제가 편집을 하다 보니까 이런 생각이 조금 들더라고요. 제가 10년 전만 해도 Hi, my name is blah blah blah, my name is John, how are you? 이거 외에는 제가 그 나머지 단어, 생각하는 거 하나도 이렇게 입 밖으로 내뱉을 수가 없었는데 지금 영상을 보면서 영상을 편집하면서 보니까 정말 많이 와 있구나 이런 생각이 들더라고요. 신기했어요. 한편으로는 또 이런 생각도 들더라고요. 보면서 아직까지 영어로 얘기를 할 때 자신감이 많이 부족하구나. 아직도 실수를 하는 거에 대한 두려움이 굉장히 많이 있구나. 그리고 제가 말을 하는 것보다 그 원어민 선생님이 얘기하는 그 포션 자체가 굉장히 많아요. 그래서 그 부분도 앞으로 많이 극복을 해내 가야 되는 부분인 것 같고 이번 영상 보시면서 동기부여 받으시고 힘내서 같이 계속 영어 저니 함께 하시길 바랍니다. 화이팅!
So, did you have a chance to listen to the podcast about
Yes.
lifestyle creep?
Yes, I did.
Quickly, overall, what did you think of it?
I mean, it's really, I think in general, I think it's really good podcast. And then I learned a lot of tips they suggested in terms of how to minimize our like a lifestyle creep.
Yeah.
So can you briefly explain what a lifestyle creep means?
I mean, if you even break it down into the two words, lifestyle is like what's your life about? What's the kind of style of living that you have?
Mm-hmm.
And then creep means like if you think of like a little child sneaking up on someone and how they go so quietly and
Mm-hmm.
they creep up and then like whoo, surprise you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I think so to me, and I had never heard this term before. So it was a super interesting podcast for me, is it means that changes in your lifestyle kind of creep up on you, or slowly but steadily your lifestyle changes. It seems very tied to you make more money, therefore you spend more money. Your lifestyle improves because you have more money. And before you know it, it's like, oh, I'm spending more than I'm saving.
Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
I mean, I guess that depends on your personal life goals. And I thought she made that point in the podcast too. It's like, everybody wants to live a good, comfortable life, but can you afford it?
Oh, okay.
And like what's your long-term goal?
Mm-hmm.
And, if your long-term goal is, you want to retire in some number of years and you need a certain amount of money saved up
Mm-hmm.
to make that happen, then it's probably not a good idea to be spending all your money as you're making it. You should be saving some and investing some, which isn't easy. Do you think you have lifestyle creep as you learned about it and think about it?
Oh, I think I do. Like for example, like whenever, my wife and I we go somewhere, I mean, I always insist, we should stop by Starbucks to get a latte. But even though I know like it costs only like $4 or $5, but it adds up, the end of the day. $5 probably almost every day. A month is gonna be $150. Do you think that is kind of lifestyle creep that I have that
I
I
think that's
spend?
a great example of it because, like when you're working, it can be a special treat to stop by Starbucks, maybe like every Friday.
Right, right.
And then you realize, oh, I'm making more money, and maybe I could also stop by Monday to give me a little boost to start the week.
Right.
And before you know it, I mean, when I was teaching full time, there were people who would stop at Starbucks every single day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's like, okay, let's call it $5. So that's $25 a week.
Yeah.
That's $100 a month. The speakers made a good point that it's okay to treat yourself and you should do that. But I think you always have to decide, what's too much of a treat. And
Mm.
Can I really afford to go to Starbucks 5 days a week, or should I maybe go 1 or 2 days? And then that extra money I could be putting into savings or,
Mm.
putting it towards the new car I'm going to need in a few years.
Have you ever, you spend your money on the things that are like not necessary but kind of make you feel better? It kind of, even though it costs a little bit, like, a
Yeah.
lot of money, but
I think everybody does that. And, a thought I had in it is that I think everybody has lifestyle creep. I really do.
right.
Because hopefully in your life you make more money as time goes on and you want to treat yourself and do fun, special things. I think it's the having the self-control to say, okay, I'd like this, but do I need it? Here's my example.
Hmm.
A friend told me about a little app I have on my phone called Duolingo. I don't know if you've
Oh,
ever heard of it.
I think I have. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Okay, so it's for learning languages and
Mm.
it's free. The app is free. You have to listen to ads along the way. And
Mm-hmm.
I tried a like 3-day trial of the program, the version of it that you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, this is really kind of way more convenient. This is a lot nicer. I don't have to listen to any ads. If I make too many mistakes, the program shuts off for the day and I can't continue until the next day. But that's not true in the paid version.
Mm-hmm.
So I have seriously been thinking, I need that. But do I
Probably not.
need it? No. Do I want it? Okay, maybe. This is my perfect example of lifestyle.
Oh yeah, I wanted to like, talk about like, the thing that this is the one thing that kind of stood out to me. I think they said one of the ways that my mindset shifted from when I worked for somebody and then when I started working for myself was
Mhm.
I realized that security when working for somebody else is an illusion. So basically, what that means is, I don't know, like probably back then, like the 1960s or 90, like 70s, we have only one job. We work for like 20 years or 30 years until we retire.
Right.
But these days we have like a different jobs, and I don't know, I think it's really important to have like a multiple um resource, what do you call it, like resource
To have a
side,
backup plan.
yeah, backup plans or different like income source.
And
Yeah.
what it reminds me of, a teeny bit of a side note, perhaps, is the video that I just did on "Don't put all your eggs in one basket."
Wow.
What that expression means is don't rely on just one thing.
Right,
So I
right.
feel like this is an example of that if you have multiple skills or multiple job opportunities, you sort of spread out your talents and your resources so that if something happens to one of them, no big deal. But if you have all your eggs in one basket
That's good.
and something happens to that basket, you're kind of out of luck.
Right, right. But it's kind of like a double-edged sword, though. I mean, it sounds too good to be true. That like, oh, I have a multiple skills so that I have like a multiple like an income source. But at the same time, time is limited. We have only like a
Yeah.
24 hours a day. We
Mhm.
have like a family to support.
We
Like
need to
even
sleep.
yeah, exactly. And then we get exhausted, from the job, from one job. I don't know. It's really hard to, like pull that thing off.
I know, I totally agree with you because if you work for someone else, your income source is kind of reliant upon somebody else.
Exactly.
And if something goes, wrong with the business or the company, and you could be the world's greatest employee, but if they have to downsize, and that doesn't necessarily guarantee you your job, no matter how great is your work. Well, I enjoyed the podcast, and I hope you did too. And I look forward to the next one we'll try.
Yes, so am I. Hope I can see you next time.
Okay, great.
Bye.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye bye.
All right, bye.